What's up, YouTube? It's Matt with another video, and today I'm trying to end this nonsensical debate between who's the better avatar between Aang and Korra, which shouldn't even be a debate in general. It was just like being hyped over because of Korra fans and Aang fans are going into a discourse. Mainly the Korra fans are fighting the legend of Aang, the Last Airbender, because they feel like Korra had harder villains to fight. Well, in actuality, it wasn't that Korra was fighting, stronger villains. It's just that Korra didn't, train, and she didn't know how to actually combat them. It's not about strength. She was also the thing is with Korra, right? She was just an arrogant, was she 18 back in the show? I think she was in her eight. She was 18 to reaching her 20s, early 20s, somewhere there. I could be wrong, but that's her age range. So I'm gonna just put her in like the 20 range because that's what I remember. But she herself was being impulsive, rude, and being annoying to everybody around her. Like the thing is, she was fighting people who were trying to support her, like Tenzin, her uncle, not her uncle, her dad, literally told her that they shouldn't trust she shouldn't trust her uncle. Her uncle was, I don't know why I keep on saying Unalog. I'ma just say the her uncle basically fused with the dark spirit because Korra was being negligent and irresponsible to the point where in the end of the episode, in the end of the episode, she lost her avatar state and her connections with the previous avatars because of Rava was taken out from her. And Vatu, I'm gonna call it Uncle Vatu or Dark Uncle. Nah, Uncle Vatu sounds better because Dark Uncle sounds a bit ugh. But the Dark Vatu, Uncle Vatu, basically severed the connection, was whipping, you know, Rava back to back to back to the point where all the connections with the previous avatars were severed and lost. Then she fought like Kuvira, the machines. I can give her props for that, but it was mainly a team effort. So, but still, she also solved the problem. So W's. Like the thing is, Korra is a respectable avatar because I respect Korra as a person and an avatar because she has that dog in her. That dog in her. You know, she never gives up. She always continues fighting. And I'm saying like I respect that, but she's kind of impulsive and like I said irresponsible, and she doesn't think ahead, and she's hot-headed as well, because mainly all her losses comes from her ego and her lack of understanding the situation and understanding what she's doing, because that's how she lost a majority of her fights. Like the first fight with Kuvira, she lost because she was overconfident. She had to use the avatar state, signifying that she lost. I think she even lost using the avatar state because she was still poisoned. She still had poison within her. She lost with uh was it Zahir? Yeah, she almost got choked up by Zahir, which was a what the hell? Like Zahir is basically a beginner airbender who followed the teachings of another airbender who preached about leaving your earthly possessions, and he attained the ability of flight, what so on and so forth. And he was using airbending in a aggressive manner to the point where he even choked out the I mean Korra and killed the, is it the Earth Queen? Yeah, the Earth Queen. You know what I'm saying? You get it? Yeah, killed the Earth Queen and whatever. And Amon. Yes, Amon. Basically, Amon was basically Korra's first main villain, and he was actually a pretty good main villain. I think people would have liked Korra if it was like a movie based on season one, or it was just a short story about uh Korra being a new avatar, understanding herself and whatever. Finish that. If it only lasted for one season, people will cut Korra some slack. But as the season progressed to the ending, people started hating Korra because we saw her personality, we saw her behavior, and now her actions are gonna lead to the next avatar, who's gonna name Pavi, to live in like danger mode because apparently the avatar, aka Korra, ruined everything, creating like seven lands or seven havens where people live. Now spirits and humans hunt down the avatar Pavi, who's gonna be in danger, and she's living her life in max difficulty, while Korra was living her life in average difficulty. Let me be honest, because there wasn't any wars going on. If Korra was being attentive and actually took her avatar duties more seriously, all the actions that was gonna happen in the Legends of Korra was not gonna happen at all. Okay, let me talk about Aang, because Aang is the golden boy, the gold, the prodigy, the top 10, not even top 10, the top one best avatar in the world. And that's a fact. Okay, I don't care what you even wanna, I don't care about your opinions. Aang is the best avatar in all the freaking generations, down the descendants of every past life and future life. Aang is top tier. Hey, if Pavi fixes Korra's mistakes, she can take the number one spot. But till day to now, from now on, and till then, I mean, Aang is still gonna be the number one avatar. Let me tell you why. Aang mistake was he ran away from the Fire Nation when he found out he was the Avatar. I mean, he ran away from his duties from being an Avatar. Yeah, that's a big mistake because now he just ran away from his responsibilities. However, while running away, he actually saved himself and saved the future Avatar and the whole nations in its whole entirety by running away because his air temple was being raided by the firebenders because firebenders wanted to take down the air nation because they understood the air nations are over the OP. Because Mangyatsu was actually, he solo doloed all the fire nations by himself because he himself stopped using pacifistic mindset and started going for the kills. And it showed because bro had like a huge pile of dead bodies from the fire nation. Shows that airbending is top one best bending in the whole series. But it's neither here nor there. I'm gonna make another video dedicating myself to glazing airbending as I should. Yeah, Aang was frozen in the iceberg for 100 years. Yes, he neglected, but that was a good thing because now airbending is literally back in the series because literally Aang is the last airbender. You get me? He's the last airbender. So after that, we go into adventures because Aang is still a pacifist. He doesn't like, ending people's lives and whatnot. And he finds the best solution that doesn't need to people being killed or anything. So, boom, back to back his villains. He always freaking finds a way to win because Aang himself and his gang were prodigies. Korra's gang were just, that's it. They were her gang. And mind it, and keep in mind, the Avatar gang, aka Aang's gang, the Aang gang, you know what I'm saying, is basically teenagers, whilst Chorus, team are freaking adults. So they should have conducted themselves better and stop the. Oh my god, I'm derailing the conversation from Aang to Korra, just showing that how bizarre and idiotic the team of Korra was. But I'm gonna stay in Aang's team. Aang's team was basically a group of prodigies from Toph, from Katara, from Aang. I'd say Zuko too because he himself is a prodigy because he won a fight against that General Zhao, if I'm not mistaken, General Zhao, and he actually won his fight against him because I don't know, I forgot, but it's neither here or there. Aang is literally doing his job 100% Avatar and 100% Avatar from the world. I mean, Aang's doing his job from being a 100% human avatar and 100% spiritual avatar. Because I'm gonna take you back to the previous generations. Because every avatar was doing their own mistakes, and it's fine. Because look at Avatar Kyoshi. Everybody glazes Avatar Kyoshi because as everybody should, because she was walk 'em down Kyoshi, no questions asked, murdered the opponent, slaughtered him, whatever. But her biggest mistake was creating that Dai Li, and it's shown in every freaking iteration of Avatar that the Dai Li are always gonna be corrupt and always corrupting the political officials like the Earth King and the Earth Queen. So her biggest mistake was creating the Dai Li. Secondly, it was Yang Qin. Yang Qin focused mainly on the political state of the world. Jaden, shut up, Jaden Smith. But she was focused more on the political state of the world rather than her duties of being the bridge of both worlds, the human realm and the spiritual realm, leading to uh Katak, yeah, Katak or the water avatar, the male water avatar, to fixing Yang Chin's mistake, making it him focusing 100% on uh the spiritual realm because Yang Chin neglected the spiritual, and he struggled a lot because he lost his girl to Code the Face Stealer, and everything went down, whatever. But he fixed the mistake of Yang Chin, and then a person that can compete with Korra with the biggest mistake is Roku. Roku is basically what Korra could have been, or what Korra is. Because Roku himself is the cause of everything that happened from Aang's mistakes. I mean, Aang's, avatar duty. Because, firstly, Aang had to, I mean, Roku had, all he had to do was kill Ozai. Because Ozai was literally going for world domination because that nigga was jealous that he wasn't the avatar, which is acceptable, I guess. But there was a previous dude who was named the false avatar from Kyoshi's book, but it's neither here or there. I forgot his name though, but he could, bend uh, sand to the point where it looks like he's airbending, bend mud like he was water bending. Basically, that guy was a prodigy top 10 Earthbender. I forgot his name, but I read his story in Kyoshi's book. But yeah, Roku basically had the obligation to kill Ozai to end any situation that Ozai, because Ozai was gonna conquer the world, and he almost did achieve conquering the world. If I think he did because the Fire Nation was literally basically a terrorist government that you know took over, I'm gonna say, majority of the world because the Earth Kingdom was being attacked. I mean, okay, I'm just derailing because of Roku's biggest mistake. Because Roku had multiple opportunities to take down Ozai back to back to back. Bro was thinking that Ozai was playing. Ozai wasn't playing, bro. Ozai literally slimed his mans out on the volcano, watching Roku suffocate in the volcanic ash. And Roku was just surprised. He was like, Sozin, help me. Sozin looked at him like bum and dipped. That wouldn't have happened if Roku slimed out Ozai and everything was gonna be fine because Roku would have saved everybody from dictatorship from the Fire Nation. But not thanks to Roku's negligence, bro literally wiped out every single airbender except Aang, thankfully. Because and if it wasn't for Aang who fixed everything and who's actually OP for some reason, like Aang surprisingly is OP. He'll like for some reason, I don't know why Aang is literally the GOAT uh avatar, literally. He's basically like OP with the humans and spirits, and I think he mastered the avatar state and energy bending. Hey, Aang is OP. Like, but I just don't like this debate of saying that Korra had stronger villains than Aang, and Aang had weaker villains. And people always being nitpicky about Aang's villain, saying that he was fighting Rhino people and whatever. That's very disingenuous because it shows that you yourself haven't read the Avatar, books. There's also a Avatar comic in Webtoon. I'm not sponsored by Webtoon yet. I'm not sure, but there's a Avatar visual. I mean, yeah, it's a visual novel on Webtoon dedicated to Aang's adventures. You should actually check it out on Webtoon. And it shows that Aang is literally getting stronger and stronger as the years go by. And bro, I think he's still a teenager in his, mid-teens. Like he's in his mid-teens, still combating people and going to spiritual realms and fighting spiritual gods and whatnot. Like Aang is literally top one at best avatar in the whole series, and people don't like it. I think people who glaze Korra haven't ever actually watched the Last Airbender, because if they watch the Last Airbender, they would also critique Korra just as much as people who have watched the same series, because Korra is not a good avatar, and it's fine. Like the people I listed, Yang Chin, Kyoshi, Roku, they are not the best avatars, but they get the job done. And I can admit Korra gets the job done. But I understand the people who are trying to defend Korra, because yes, some people are genuinely hate Korra. Like they don't dislike her, they hate her with a passion, which is also acceptable because Korra is basically, hyper aggressive, active, and being annoying at some point, because she herself was told that she was an avatar at like a young age, and she was, I wouldn't say she was a top tier bender. I'd say that she was a competent combatant when it comes to, using fire bending, earth bending, and water bending, and she learned metal bending and I think lightning bending too, which is a congrats, but still, she lacked discipline and hard work. That's the only problems I had with Korra. But we need to stop having these Aang versus Korra debates, because in the end of the day, they're both good avatars. They did get the job done, except for one. Korra ruined all the achievements, killing all the future lives, and now the the new avatar is gonna have to deal with a unimaginable, road of dedication of everything, and now everything is ruined. She ruined everything. Like Korra is basically buns. I don't know who said that, but I cannot agree nor disagree for that action. But we need to end this Aang versus Korra debates, because we know Aang is number one best avatar in the series. And this is Matt. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.